Okay, so here is the reef. He had a very good drawing, Phil, about what was going on here in this reef area. Okay, let me try to, I think, make sure there's no misunderstanding. So here's the upper spar, and you're going to tie a longer line or let the line that you have loose, and the top grommet that in the sail used to be up here, to be tied up there. But as you can see, we let it lower down by about a grommet's worth. So you're going to get another grommet here. The next highest one here, you're going to pull that down and take up. So that distance is the same between the upper grommet and this next highest grommet. You pull that down and you're going to tie it to those eye bolts here where it's probably tied already by this lower grommet here, but you're gonna use this grommet now. So this is going to pull down to this place. And my static picture I didn't think was really explaining that. So you pull the whole thing sail down, you tie this down at the tack through the next highest grommet, and you ease at the head, okay? So what ends up happening is you're going to have a shelf. You'll have more material down here, but those other things that are in the list should help to flatten the sail in other places. Everybody just kind of lives. It's not the true sense of a. There's no way to like wrap it around the boom or tie it anywhere else. So you have some extra material down here, but you're really eliminating what probably 15 square feet or so off the uh, off the sail by just lowering it by one grommet. So that's the reef. And then if we go back up to the drawing here, so this part I wasn't quite sure if I had explained it well enough. So sail is loose. So this should be actually very tight. So when you do tie these things together, what you can do is you can tie this grommet first, do this one first, bring it, loosen up the head of the sail, bring this down, tie it, fix it to the eye bolt, and then up here you're going to pull that pretty tight. Okay, so you would do this second. You do this part up here second and pull that really tight. That's effectively putting in Cunningham. So you're taking care of the reef, and if you make that really tight, you're flattening the sail and moving the center of effort forward. If I got that right, yeah. Okay, so that's both the reef and the Cunningham. We got that. And then if you look at the outhaul, yeah, where it comes back to the back of the boom here, you have your kind of an eyelet here at the end, the end cap, however that works. There's like this, and this is tied to the back grommet of the sail. So there's a tie from the sail. I'll use a different color here. So there's a tie for the sail down around the boom like that, but there's also like the outhaul tied here. So you want to make the foot as tight as you possibly, well, not to as tight as you possibly can, but firm it up. It should be relatively firm, and that flattens the sail also. So that's the outhaul part of it. Outhaul. And then that last part, I think you've got, we just used the halyard, but it's actually easier. Just take an extra piece of line. Right. So I think you have here, these adjustments are made before the sailing in high winds. Vang pulls the sail lower, closer to deck. Yeah. So that's where over in the picture, the actual photograph of the sunfish over here, you basically just tie a line up. Let me see if I can make that bigger. Okay, Control Z, get rid of that. Okay. Yeah. So little bit of a word of caution here is that you can tie a line over the top of the gooseneck down to the bullet block on the deck. Just a word of caution, depending on how aggressive you are with that. What ends up happening is if this is your bullet block on the deck, the tension is going up around the gooseneck and down through here. You could just simply tie that here. Here's some kind of um, a knot. You could put a bowline on one end and then use that as like a 2-to-1. You can pull it tight and just tie a couple half inches. It should hold it under tension for when you do it, and you should you'll get quite a bit of boom bend in here. You'll see considerable amount of boom. That might be the extreme of what you would see, but somewhere between this extreme and then flat, this here is just perfectly flat. And the one thing to watch out for is the way that this on an older boat, these bullet blocks, you're pulling up on it and it might tear out of the deck. So what you could do, what you really want to do is you want to go through that and put the sort of lateral tension on the cleat. It's better to go like around the cleat through here, up around, and then back to the cleat again. And it still has the tension on that bullet block, but it has a little bit. It's using the shear force on the deck here a little better to fix it. So you probably still end up with the same upward pressure on that bullet block as it is. But all of these things added together one by one, the only thing is that when we're sailing, we try to balance them so that the helm is as balanced as possible. And I'm not really good at that so much yet, but you have to use, just keep in mind, if you have a huge amount of weather helm, usually that's just the way it's going to be. That's the way that the Sunfish probably sails. So you can send back an email on this one too. I'm going to email this link to you as soon as I get it up on YouTube.